My gosh, I work so hard. I appreciate what hard work looks like. I like working hard, and I'm still working hard.
People keep asking me why I call Harry and Meghan the Meghans. It's really simple. At one time, they were two people. Now they're just a giant ball of greed, grift, and gaslighting, all melded together into a shape-shifting entity of hate and hype, powered by bullying, big cons, and bad clickbait. This last week, they got called out.
I'd created for the kids these email addresses that I will give them at some point in their lives when they're older.
Wow.
Here's a report card from today. Or, oh my gosh, you said the funniest thing this morning. Or here's a picture of you two having breakfast.
Wow.
The things that you're not going to put pen to paper in a journal, but they will end up at one point in their life, maybe when they're 16 or when they're 18, that I say, here's an email that I've been keeping for you.
Wow.
For them to be able to look back and go, oh my gosh, she has loved us so much.
Wow.
The Meghans brand right now is radioactive. Nobody wants to go near him. Harry just held a masterclass on abusing his own family. Netflix refuses to serve any of With Love Meghan's recipes at any of the studio's restaurants. And when it comes to her latest podcast, Confessions of a Narcissist, it not only got booted off Spotify's top 100 charts in under 6 days, it was body slammed by a series that teaches people how to sleep. This is part 1 of a video series on the slow motion popping of 2 pimples in the public square. "2025 has been filled with a lot of surprises, but none of them as big as the one Meghan just gave in her first podcast interview. It was a gift to every psychologist as an early Christmas present. The discovery of a new mental disorder, Meganosis, a noun, a chronic condition of self-obsession so severe the host actually believes that their every breath and birth needs to be written down for history's sake. It's transmitted via microphones, paid for friends, publicity stunts, and pity interviews. Symptoms may include victim addiction, delusions of sainthood, and self-worship, with side effects may result in a crippling fear that love isn't real. It doesn't count unless it can be bought, bartered, branded, filmed for television, and approved by millions of Instagram bots called Bangalore Bob.
The things that you're not going to frame, the things that you're not going to put pen to paper in a journal, but they will end up at one point in their life, maybe when they're 16 or when they're 18, that I say, here's an email that I've been keeping for you.
Wow.
If you want to send the Meghans packing, hit subscribe. But if you want to know what makes them tick and all their circus clown friends in Hollywood just like them, go watch my recent video, The Woke Monologues. Watch it, then leave your thoughts in the comments down below, and then ask me any question you like, whether it's about Harry, Meghan, Hollywood, or my kidnapping, or why I chose the name Giant Slayer. You ask, I'll comment, no filter, no fluff, just the truth. Now, we all know that old saying, if you're in a hole, stop digging. Well, Meghan and Harry heard that and kept digging. Then they turned around and announced to the world they're going to elevate that hole into a kingdom, build a gift shop in it, sell tickets, and call it healing for Hollywood hoes.
Meghan Markle has confirmed she loves putting flour sprinkles on her food, saying she loved taking something pretty ordinary and elevating it. And I guess that's a bit like what Prince Harry did when he married a briefcase girl from Deal or No Deal.
In the premiere episode of Meganosis with Jamie Kern-Lima, that's of course Meghan's latest billionaire bestie, you had the delusional diva of digital scrapbooking reveal that she's been sending emails to her 3- and 6-year-old for years. Not texts, not post-its, not sticky notes, just emails, nightly, to an account that her kids don't even know exists. She sends them updates like, you ate a waffle today, congratulations. You sneezed, how sweet. Possibly she might send something else like, Mommy's feelings are really hurt today. I'm sad because you stepped in front of my pop shop, but I love you, Munchkin, so much that I let it go this once. The kicker is, Meghan's been saving these emails like they were the Dead Sea Scrolls, waiting for the day that her kids become adults so she can pull them out and say, look at how much I have proved I loved you. I've documented your every mole, mouthful, and bowel movement since the surrogate dropped you off. Now be good little boys and girls and validate me.
And here's everything and every moment that I wanted to tell you how much I love you and like how proud I am of you. And of all things, it's making me emotional.
Wow.
For them to be able to look back and go, oh my gosh, she has loved us so much.
Apparently the best part of being a mom for Meghan isn't her children's health and happiness. It's just hearing them say, wow, You really did love us. Because nothing says devoted mom quite like turning motherhood into an Oscars campaign where your kids are the voters and their childhood is the only thing left to monetize in Act 3 after everything else has collapsed. See, right now, nothing screams Meghan louder than Meghan, dedicating a decade to ghostwrite a love letter to herself, all so her children can turn around and read it to her on their graduation day. And God help them if they don't, their mom will just end up treating them like their dad.
Every day, a Harry gets neglected and abused by diva wannabes around the world. Please donate to the Find Your Balls Conservation Fund.
That is what you call love, the make-believe Meghan way. If she doesn't get what she wants, how she wants, in the exact flower-sprinkled way that she wants it, she cuts people out of her life, then stitches together a new mask out of the ruins, one that's comfortable enough to fit her latest money scheme. It's the exact same playbook that Meghan used just recently in that interview to tell a story, to retell the story about how she dated Harry. But the only reason she did it was she could launch another attack against the royal family.
After we had a good 5-6 months almost with just privacy, which was amazing.
Wow.
At the beginning, everyone has like butterflies, and then we immediately went into the trenches together.
You gotta love the internet. I love the internet because the receipts never expire. Meghan not only changed the story about her first 6 months of dating in the British royal family, she went full-blown malignant narcissist. She took the most extreme human suffering imaginable, young men bloody, dying in the muddy trenches of World War I. She turned around and said, yeah, that is exactly what my life was like. While I dated a prince, jumping from cottages to castles, wearing expensive designer haute couture. And Harry remained silent, said absolutely nothing. So that pretty much tells you all you need to know about the menace in the mouth. Still, Meghan's interview wasn't over by a long shot. We'll get back to that clown show in a moment, I promise you. Because now we got to check in with the other half of Team Malignant raising those kids. Harry, a millionaire, one of the most pampered men on the planet, still refuses to stop whining about how much he suffered. And he just had one of the worst 2 weeks of his life since his wedding night. The only question is, what part of the self-inflicted pain hurt him more? Was it Meghan posting a photo of their son's back like he was a prop on the Truman Show after Harry missed his 6th birthday party for the 6th year in a row, so he could go play Prince in Las Vegas? Or was it that the half-wit was publicly spanked by a UK judge with an actual spine?
The conclusion was that the Duke of Sussex's appeal would be dismissed.
It is really telling that not 20 minutes after a 3-judge panel of the Court of Appeals told Harry that his fees and his temper tantrum don't actually count as legal arguments, you had the latest head of public relations for Archewell had already scheduled an interview with the media so Harry could whine about his loss and slam his family. Because apparently nothing says we want privacy quite like calling the BBC over anytime your ego's bruised.
Pretty gutted about the decision. We thought it was going to go our way. But it certainly is proven that there was no way to win this through the courts. For the time being, it's impossible for me to take my family back to the UK.
Oh no! Anyway, last week...
Let's be clear on one thing. This case was never about security for Harry and Meghan. This is emotional terrorism 101. Abuse your victims, assassinate their characters, claim they rigged the system, and then declare that they want to forgive you, all before blaming them for not speaking to you. You need to forget everything you know about Harry. Forget the teen you saw growing up. Forget the young guy you saw in the headlines and the photos smiling. That guy never existed. That was merely palace PR. This right here, this is the real Harry.
We've lost the appeal, but the other side have won in keeping me unsafe. And to now know today, based on this judgment, that there was no legal framework that constrains the decisions of this body Ravek, of which the royal household sit on. And I didn't know that until this legal process in 2021. One of the first things my lawyer said to me, and my jaw hit the floor.
Wow.
Like every villain before him, Harry actually thinks he's the hero of the story. But real heroes don't abandon their duty and still demand the perks of their prior position. They don't attack their families. They don't peddle lies. They don't use their children as pawns. And they never chase headlines just to feed a Meghan's ego. real heroes with real honor. They fight for what's true. They fight for what's just, even if it costs them everything. That's not Harry.
The other side of the story needed to be told. God forbid anything should happen. And I don't regret that at all. But 2020, when that decision happened, I couldn't believe it. I actually couldn't believe it. I thought with all the disagreements and all of the chaos that's happening, the one thing that I could rely on is my family keeping me safe.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
And not only did they decide to remove my security in the UK, but they also signalled to every single government around the world not to protect us.
Don't worry, my love. He's not going to get away with this.
Now we get to the real reason that Harry has an axe to grind. Underneath the hidden meaning of his endless nose sniffing and word salad attacks, now we know. Harry wants his IPP status back. That's what he was saying in that part of the interview. He wants the IPP status back so that every time that Team Malignant goes anywhere, they can have paid security. They get an armored caravan of SUVs, paid bootlickers, bum washers, suck-ups to cater to every one of their whims, block roads, close restaurants, and most importantly, get intelligence on anyone they target. This is why he's upset. And the head of Archwell's PR for the last 3 months, the lady that I was telling you about earlier, she's soon to be Meghan, I suspect, because they're going to blame her for not stopping the interview sooner.
Yeah, I don't want history to repeat itself. Through the disclosure process, I've discovered that some people want history to repeat itself, which is pretty dark.
Who do you think that is?
I'm not going to share it at this point. You know, I know all the names of the people that were involved in this process. And again, you know, you have to question, why wasn't I put through the same risk management board that everybody else was put through, including members of my family?
This is the repeat of the Oprah interview all over again. Like Oprah, where the Meghans had intimated they were racist in the royal family, we have Harry right here in this interview telling everybody that his father, the king, his brother, the prince, and members of the royal family want him and his family dead. That's what he's stating to the camera. Simply because the royal family helps make decisions of Ravik, basically the Royal Protection Squad, they're on the board. You can't take a statement like that back. This is worse than his book Spare. This is crossing the Rubicon, and it's long past time that royal consequences met the California chicken coopers head on.
Now, the king can end this feud, Harry's right, but not by shaking hands with this treacherous little weasel, but by stripping him and his wife of the royal titles that they love to use for commercial gain without doing any of the work that comes with being a working royal in this country. And we saw that, of course, as the VE Day celebrations happened this week. That's what a real royal does. They don't lounge in a California mansion spending the ill-gotten gains they make from trashing their family.
Piers is right. Take their titles now. And as I promised, I've done research on this issue. So the big question is, can King Charles or future King William actually strip Harry and Meghan of their titles, as it was currently reported that the prince wants to do on day one? The answer is a big fat yes. Here's how it breaks down. HRH, it's an honorific. The crown gave it, the crown can take it away in a flash. When it comes to Prince, it's the same thing. It can go away faster than the king can butter his toast because it was granted with letters patent. See, since George V's letters patent of 1917, the monarch had declared who would be defined as a prince or princess. But then in 1971, there were new letters patent that were issued stating only the eldest son of the Prince of Wales could be called a prince or princess. But then in 2012, Queen Elizabeth II stepped in and rewrote the rules again to include all of Prince William's children. So that means if the Queen did it back then, the crown today can do it as well. They can rewrite it. They can strip Harry of being a prince and send Meghan's Instagram bio into a full meltdown all before lunch. Parliament can't get involved. There's no vote. There's no debate. There's just a lot of drama. But to a king with a spine who loves his people, he won't give a damn about what the press says. Now, when it comes to the peerages and then the line of succession, we're going to talk about that in the second part of this video. But I can tell you one of them is extremely difficult. The other one is constitutionally impossible to remove. But I'm going to say for Harry, he's pushed things way too far. And Meghan has abused things and isn't stopping. She uses her royal titles like they're a royal credit card. So in my opinion, I say get her done. And because the royal family recently broke their silence, it's a safe bet they've had enough. A Buckingham Palace spokesperson said all these issues have been examined repeatedly and meticulously by the courts, with the same conclusion reached on each occasion. Basically, the Crown released a statement about Harry's interview saying, Harry, the court said you lost 1 time, you lost 2 times, you lost 3 times, you're out of there. Grow up, go away, and get a life. Personally, I don't think that statement was strong enough coming from the palace, because some bullies, they just don't learn their lessons till their face is flat in the mud and snot bubbles are the only thing left that they own. And Harry, in my opinion, still hasn't learned.
So, I would ask the Prime Minister to step in. I would ask Yvette Cooper, the Home Secretary, to look at this very, very carefully, and I would ask her to review RAVEC and its members. Because if it is an expert body, then what is the royal household's role there? If it isn't to influence and decide what they want for the members of their household.
Wow.
Harry just officially declared that he hates his family. He wants the British government to strip them of their power. That's what the end result would be after asking the Prime Minister and the Home Secretary to get involved. He doesn't want them to review some papers. He wants them to reverse his case. And because they're involved with RAVEC, which is, again, the Royal Protection Squad, that would be removing some of their power so they can't help make any decisions. See, what came out of that courtroom wasn't just Harry being denied his ego-fueled fantasy of using UK police as his Hollywood entourage. It wasn't even the fact that Harry is now on the hook for £1.5 million to cover the court costs. It's something bigger, something deeper. He lost the chance to teach his children how a true man handles loss. That character is the only thing we own, that dignity and honor, they're not just buzzwords, they're a way of life. Harry could have set an example to show his children this is what unconditional love looks like. This is how a son should treat his father, even when they disagree, even when they're upset and angry with one another. But instead, the frog formerly known as Prince went full toad. He slithered onto the BBC, attacked a father who's battling cancer, and blamed a dying king. And at the very same time had the gall to say he wants peace and reconciliation.
I would love reconciliation with my family. I don't know how much longer my father has. He won't speak to me because of this security stuff. But it would be nice to reconcile. If they don't want that, that's entirely up to them.
Throwing bombs at your family behind the safety of a camera lens isn't courageous. It's cowardly. It's exactly what Harry did when he delivered it with the very same exact energy that Meghan turned up when she bragged about how hard she worked.
My gosh, I work so hard.
Wow.
I appreciate what hard work looks like. I like working hard. And I'm still working hard.
Yeah.
It means we're working on replenishment and what are the next SKUs and what's the next tranche of products and what's the timing on that and
wow,
writing the newsletters,
wow,
and writing the social media captions,
wow,
and making sure that all that feels in line,
wow,
and what's the cadence of it and
wow,
what's the photography that we want to do and what do I want to wear for those shoots, while also editing all the time-coded notes for season 2 of With Love Meghan.
Wow.
What Meghan calls work, most people call a vacation. The truth is that the couple's actions have reached such a level of narcissism that they now deserve a new wing in a library. File Meghan and Harry right between hemorrhoids and Hollywood man-hoppers. Just make sure their children never get to read their books. Otherwise, they might learn the truth.
You deliberately embarrassed me in front of a reporter! A reporter? Why did you adopt me? Maybe I did it for a little extra publicity.
If you enjoyed the video and found value in it, hit subscribe, smash the like button, leave your thoughts in the comments down below, and share this with everyone you know. To win every battle and stay true to yourself, all you have to remember is we're fighters with one unbreakable rule. We never bow down, we never bend the knee. Always forward.